Yenya double track mo criticize ye no. Mo antimi amfa nimdi ankyere se kwan we so. Nia mo kan ye as typical of you people. Your mama say ye buy ya less than 1 year. Ese dum katiampo de o say 90 days tieni o. Tieni na nsem bia ya. Double track free SHS ye nyina ya nkwaje bosia o. De ne o say won nkwaje bosia no. Double track by 2027 na nka awie no. Enne o mo kwaje bosia. It destroys every argument he's making here. On koba bosia o. En wo de ye. But a drew way so no. Yen ye di adwene ye no. Ya mabosia. Kakra obeti afiri ho no. Enne o koba bosia dia. Ye jameti for. In any case, now say Haruna Drusu came out to the bank and said, "Bosia no cry, no correct." That's why we the bear double track. Haruna Drusu came out last week. No people sing. It one more contradictions. No, a boss no honum. The to should be about pen in person or tears here pa and so Eddie say. You call IMF no MPP ni NDC. You call IMF no. In the face of that, near fan crop for Juma. Mo call IMF 2012 to 2016. Mo am fairly pa betem. It's hereby nurses over 200,000. Nyame Adomako for almost everybody. Teacher the same thing. COVID no buy yenti ya no se to so yenti. Kakra buy ye no. Don mama ko gina voter region ko twa ntro say wa for 16,000. Can kesi the Ghana Education Service. They came as for Mr. President. We are working on the you but enye no kre. Wa for nipa 7,000. Must you trust these people? So they no atu nche bi oso so a. Ade ba ko a he me sire pa ni say. Was say 8 years. 8 years eba ye ni nyina ni ade ade eya wo mo nkanka won and the best economists including my brother sitting here and the professor Baafi they admit to say 2022 they see ye 2020 they see ye say this if one can we ni panam COVID ne ba ye no they condemned it as typical of them ekowi ase ne na dia mo see America for ntokwa enti wo mo no o mo nti ase no ba hima this NDC attributors no what me anumbi. He's talking about cars. He said 2014. And we both punidin. So both punidin na samonto cars dia. And you know be nanka wahiye dube issue ye. In any case, enya no kre. Na say yamu ya we. Ese a cocoa board came and attacked. Say Marco cars over 100. A year for munti omuka. It is what Tinago Tantra and we have one ye.
That order. That was a command about. That is what no me bisa say. Muntobi.
Oh, what I may say cast no oh Yamwa Yisumo. Yamwa Yisumo.
When I say Bomochi free.
Bomochi no say if you do that, everything said the work is ano. Others me MPP ni. It is a me MPP some there. Oh yeah, this idea you are destroying the discussion. How? Because identity say oh no, is it the authority?
Yes,
we don't go that. Now soon yes your research I say it one more intino. It is an atia and the nan can this year wrong we say MPP or no amoka cocoa border say because ya na near wabemu. Sadia dia no. Mami koso. No, we don't do that. Mr. Stop that.
Over the hand we don't do that.
We don't do that. He said the argument now is too illogical say. Or no na ye bobo nchichi and na me kira wo say
no of ya
Obama o
say abena dey
adibi wo ho no ma dey me showa ma wakasa sometimes you know say ese kasantwie ni ade a e ade a platform so me
obi a me kasantwie no say no argument no
what can do nipa no ete ha say eti se bibi ni kwampo na say if indeed so you question because you can even ask him na me bisa na me kasa ono na head of corporate and that is why I took you back say I asked him since mu purchase vehicle bia and was sit there
if it's anything to go by it emra fi buafo e wo cocoa board no it will kasem a absolute eba ni sa dia ye democracy nkoso ye ba ni sa ye democracy nkoso on the wo ho menyi nwachinye eni to ho no wo ye alpha and omega it issues e koso no enipa ni bi wo so enu wo cocoa board wada roma timase e tie for so tie yen de to so me se cars no ebe ye amanfo e ka ho asem oh excuse me stop that Mr. Decency is key in this. Then he's talking about scandal. NDC talking about scandal. Mokoye and send them 1 million at that all you doom so and want some down. Moba is so sauce na ye can want some the west and no one kata weni. Cocoa board that's the same gold board that somewhere ye can buy him. Ya from some parliament because we are majority someone call. and you sit out there akata when he say and na corruption ekoso the west obaima membransa no so hwe no can say me say Yoruba umi akuta list me metia Adomako Baafi it is an argument ya de buy if it's anything to go by there men so me beba umia ya konna kranda minim list you de koye eya omo kan ho asem so say men sakwa any campaigner men so Adomako Baafi o ye ma we me so me ye ma akuka enti na sem na no kan logically no ehin fa de da de to so bi onso so oban man person ti ase ni say o kan say PMMC and na wo ho ansa na gold board e ba odi ho achinye onim de wo kan again na sem na wo kan no MPP Adabawumia and Akuffo Addo ye di gold board e ba ye no or the gold for oil ba ye no na mu over 30 years no na mu nya sa adwene nsem ba ye bi ye ye de ba ye imitation e na mo ye and into ba ya na ye di gold for oil aba recovery IMF aka World Bank aka Professor Baafi aka minian sigitum say the economy was on the path of recovery. It mu ye just beneficiaries of that. And so oba ma de to so bi wa person ti ati ni say. Sasami dem fi say de wo kan oyemi kuma but the point ni say emre no omra parliament no mekana no masem. Wontimi mai because you are in the majority. But one thing I want to tell you say so si John Mahama de ni de ye ni fie ni jademu a onfa kwaku anyidu ho adwuma. Onfa ya boache adwuma boache agyan adwuma. Onfa ni tell the so onfa na adwuma. Na Fred Abonyonom onfa wo mo ni ehunu se ono de nkabo mu mo ade ensan mama kwantaira na Rollins boy cry ya mpache wa pa okra keto do twene fa no eto nchen asem bi otu ampese me kama wo ti ase pa enso eni say Musa Dankwa wona wo ti ase western of fo ho atowo mo wo ukromfo wa ho kire mu a me ko bodi me ko ba bi atem bi o mu akuafo osu and you sit here comfortably saying say wo mu atowo mo a akuafo mo hwe TV ni bi ba Musa Dankwa say even 30% amunya na Ashanti region no ene aba 18 Musa Dankwa nso de munya me ene ti no ho na sere nia abanyosem eya oba hman ho kire ye no enu anu nko na ye MPP foduru ba bi no na na nya nkwada na tirimu de obe bema de da ye nim no party yi aka no kure but wo de na wa konye ba bi ase ba dudu anu omu ye campaign na obukura breche wo no omusu no o ken no omusu ye nipa bone de wo mo serew ene Musa Dankwa aka in the case o kan ba bi yi wa and Tema Development TDC and TMB will be at the same organization and to copy pipe na momo unity ho asem obi amoamo to a Greek minister any finance ministry ya ba twede pipe and you sit out there say nyema yemamo no wona sere oba ma me de mensem no eko awieye no kakra me pese me kan am de to aso ni say oba ma enye nyam anyum to and then securities and the siege economy a mo ankasa mo bie kan pay 3 as economy no you are not going to rely on macroeconomics but micro ya man for botum no and it is saying and the 24-hour economy no it is saying and the drainage system amuka ye and no it is saying mutimi transfer nyame anim ekofa manifesto way and it go control from 1 to 10 to 100 edu ba bia na so if you sit out there because ebi wama nyesemu a wo mutwe wo say me out of my comfort o man nyina but and now your social media NDC for papa na wom no mo bre ya mo run si bre ye no wo mo mpa na esu ba se me bi nua yi a se na Yesu Kristo hwe Jerusalem na wo no ne say ye no mu no you should sit out there me dia me ni comfort me ti kam ayi emre bia me na mfom ti minim and na kura so mi ti minim ho ba me di wie dia person me kama ne ti ase ni say obia o ha bia ya NDC for even deputies o mo ba 2026 V8 egu onom and I'm also matter cars nibi. You can just fabricate stories, but one thing is certain: say, or minor under John Dramani Mama, or Bebiana as a nomia kayen. You must summon Koso, a teacher for una money, a queer for una money, a daddy for bobo, driver for say, and a tumia, and one new for swab, some crab a cook food stop no, Mugusuna moye. Into Babiako drones above bus of wapa, no more than a third party advocate. But the point they say, me no me no hey. Ya dumbi ba ya uniform for no baby a wo free baby a be free no nyame na bi ekopie ho enti wo kasa think about the commoners
okay
and get out of our comfort
yes brema me enough of the IMF bailout and cutting waste key to economic recovery
yes me da say ba IMF yenim say international institution and body a one of the neoma mota buane yese any economy and as a country be kwa hochire mu no member economy no they will come to their aid. Sometimes omo ba omo this kind of beba. Sometimes be ha omo de just into and as policies and a bed beba no mo de aba Ghana no they are couldn't nyina na kwa say na ye kwa ho hia ne ahochirem isika sema to baha neoma enkoye neoma bria ni so na age ensema na ye hu ye ho brabo a na ye de meka na yakob omo ho onso de okwa omo ebe ma osika ni mo ma osika na omo de nhyehyeye a ye ebe boa omo no so interest de egu akwan mo no ma hwese obedi so. Now for Ghana to go there 17 times, the 17th time no the recent one you call ye say the my call ye no ya na difference no in no so sa ni nyina no akwai se dem din kaka no ye ho akire ya ama ye hu so hwe ana ye hu ya babo na no na afi de meka call mo na eno nso no ye bebusa se ya de pa na nya de pa anke ya de bia say because countries, number of them, once a while they seek for support from IMF and the World Bank. And you know, and Kenya, Nemuno, yeah, not ye nine ye hurry ho. For it to get there 17th time. Now, Mekai said the previous government, Nanko, he said, a Kwambiaso no Kayanko IMF. But Kodwoo baby do not abney into an essay, Yako. It says, ye tu anamwa kwa IMF no ne nti aya me kɔ no saa bia na ya ekɔ gyina no enye bia pa nye kɔ na ya kɔ no na enye because ne e body a ono no otimi guide o bua wo na de ya ma ye kɔ gyina saa bia hɔ no ba bia ye gyina hɔ no ɛno na yɛ ye nyina no hia asɛm enti sɛ bia who say can of say oh we won't go to IMF. Now say a call ya question say then na your call na as soon as omano ni so ade huna in the next 10 years in the next 20 years your person na yen to make cancer call IMF and I be kokra na enko level of ahokyere no na me de be beko. And say obi especially the president eka say yen cut waste na ya avoid the IMF na there is in the right direction. Now who say anyone be IMF ba or here say o energy sector say debt be o manage ni ye or here o debt to GDP enkoya o de no ma be go akwam o revenue generation o de no ma be go akwam ntini na aka on be ho na even temaport ni ade no on na try so you introduce this system that system just to improve on revenue mobilization or the different debt sustainability or the car untimi ntia and now no 2022 mo dey see and say ye the car ma afede na external creditors no or mu ejina yeso edu say na ye pese ye domestic debt exchange program no and no the internal one, so it was generally easier for us but a external one no China, France near other the key decision makers no they were reluctant. Engineers say what they want to share manu into no more pay and no they was on Sunday a be almost kappa as my day at all into Janabia papa. Nye Janabia papa said a baby once a man oh ya caught 17th time a baby caught 18th time it should be a worrying situation for us and no they said na kwan be so na ye be fa boy na president so let's cut down waste now waste no on say say ka say a state interest and a governance authority ho omo asudie ba ko pa ne say ombe say state owned enterprises e be run efficiently and effectively ama yen ka say bia omo ko pay profits as a corporate as compared to corporate entities be say bia despite media na there or no or run on purely profit basis yen kan say enya profit that's fine but any kwan say you running at a loss as state no esa na man san bo e pompe into it. Cocoa board has been an example. ECG also has been an example, and several other, even our almighty tour, for example, pompe money. Yes, resuscitated tour. Obonse eventually some. Then on money sika there ajegu. Into one of the things I said the papa president can't waste the same, where one of the sector angles I say be found. Now beyond that, in fact, I am a Francasano. Somewhere 2025. Omo one Ghana. As some more kind say, even tea seminar that any no. Say the yetiso. Because you can't waste that. On say omaya ye niska bebre. Na kakran so e benya no. Exactly. Into obeko state institutions mono. Some of the spending are almost, you see, unfortunately sometimes when they budget for it, we've budgeted for travels and all that. So we must ensure that we travel. These are some of the issues that we have to exactly.
And you know the other side, then so yes, they said they work and say cutting down cost and all. No, me kai say abroad, somewhere 2025 mampeni share the juma say na beto the DSTV no me ade ye twemo ye ntua say. And the other question was here. We ask ourselves they are here, but if you multiply that by maybe it's 4 years,
exactly the point.
I think the things that they can hear one say when here.
And now one see the crowd near Kamboma 1 million. Say you bet me that could see because some of the villages schools are here and yet state of the arts infrastructure is structured even just a common shelter. To actually make sure that the students are comfortable. Get them some chairs. If you have 1 million, you can do that and furnish the place and give them an average environmental on so we shouldn't even belittle some of these things and all that. Now beyond that, one other aspect I say there must be a strong connection between all the sectors. Because it will be a high there, then other sector no Akuffo and all that. Then we need to also look at which sectors are really part of the key pillars of the country. We agree for many. Now, agri also has a lot to do with the informal sector. And if you are doing well in the agri sector, it means that you are creating employment in the informal sector. And you, gradually you can even move them from being informal to formal. The reason being that systems and our structures ensure say A and B farm, limited, and now agri so now they are all registered, small businesses registered and all that. Next, how many employers now we can easily trace them. Until when it even comes to tax, we will bring all of them into the tax. And as a web, into only one side now in terms of the sustenance, because when I say when to me and sustain and you may be a more the fiscal space now creating more revenue so the amount then employment because many none are connected into say one year one gasano won't mean yes now they are to total crown so ebano you spending on what we call consumables or consumption. And you want to say, bobosia, now they are tier salaries. So
salaries no to mean generating.
That is the issue.
Revenue.
That is the issue. And to say, no, na more wood to no sana tell dia, they be no obako bobosia, now they are tiaka. And public sector will be so a huge. And to say, near this kind and to me in the medium to long term and to me and generative funds by itself not the bia no pump money into it and yeah obey generative kakra obey use oba ko bobosan so obey use e china no unya hu so papa bia because ni na ya edidi ya amfa and build the roads ya amfa build the hospitals ya amfa build the ICT infrastructure e be boa in a certain direction digitally peseko. In fact, as far back as 2004, 2005, and I started kind about digitalization. Then we talked about cashless economy. And the President Akuffo introduced e-switch. So now e-switch but the intention was to move cash out of the system or to a significant level digital aspect no na cashless no be more cashless no more kwana it helps you to reduce waste in the system because all generate revenue through tax another year na a human intervention and involvement more you are in trouble but if then you are actually increasing
corruption
exactly nti say person be san ko IMF obiem na ye hwese o cutting waste in there say hwese anema we nyina because no na ya nhwe ni ya I don't be able to say maybe 10 years from now 11 years from now 15 years from now then we are going back to IMF. Then the 18th one now we gathered of and it should be systematic, it should be strategically done.
Matse, me that say your time national. Wow. Me about 3 to 4 minutes na ye the article board wants LBC's buy cocoa on credit. He say when you do so that's all the rebuttal say 4 minutes in a super major me time in patrol. Jerome shall say the free.
Abuna.
Yes.
Me should anye rebuttals be because
no
problem. Me because me anything damning Biana it's against me party. Baafi, there's nothing. I heard him say something, but it impact on my party. It's insignificant, so I won't rebut. The issue of dog can assembly. So I won't say your agencies are in order to resuscitate those industries and agencies compare ska. Mamenka one are there significant buying buy through finance ministry or once the cocoa board was in crisis from late last year to this year it was some money at there Adebako were to forcing any the leadership of cocoa board headed by Dr. Randiabe and say there was no external money from anywhere. There was no external money from anywhere or injecting into the operations of what? Of cocoa board. But instead, no. Cocoa board was tasked to efficiently manage the resources ahead. So I say, in kakra, ena ye free or how ya ye yewo emui. Intina make out to buttress the Addo kind and say, when you know your measures are abiding departure from the conventional practice. We inject money where we cannot even account for the capital injections and it further compounds the debt now we are accumulating as an agency or the generality of the country. Look, I also said me a very specific by saying cocoa board buy chief executive crampon using the private car. There is no single Land Cruiser yato. No single Land Cruiser.
But pick up
your other pickups are ever for the operations of the Ejumano form because cocoa creating or form needs to be what? Served.
To pick up spend my order.
Pickups. So I'm telling you that the comfort first you sit and you are concerned about your comfort. No? Over a year, 2 years, no? There is no chief executive or even directors or more day or more cars.
Okay,
now
LBC, I got 2 minutes.
LBC no. At the okay no and you the for now once a debia no me say
maybe Jerome what's the for first and not they were told not to.
Yeah, it is part of the requirement. It's part of your really? It's part of your requirement. As part of your requirement to be licensed, I was say yes, say then ska
liquid.
So I say ska bit me ediato cocoon. Until you quite to the extent to say yama ode o bank in krata cry day eba ema o banks nankasa krampo issue krata say say Adomako wi oyeden owusika obetimi aiden ato ayekoko. This is not maybe a bank guarantee per se whereby in case of anything the bank stands in to the but the bank confirms so oyeden
credible so obetimi ato
the better now as part of your share at least I was to me top be about 500 metric tons
which is about 800 bucks, 8,000 bucks.
With the LBCs.
LBCs. I'll be to me at Toyeden. Echiaka. Now, and then the Kuyanina bre, Atoni Kuku, Atin Kuku, Aye no, Okokoje, we see me free. It's at a later date. So, do you know what happens? So, what happens in say, then a company Krana can be in operation.
Yeah.
Because Okoko Kofria, the person defers the responsibility to Cocoa Board.
Yeah.
So as I say, so whatever happens in the chain, or no, you absorb.
Okay. Quick one, 90. Here for because I can before you be licensed, no. I say I can one and no woman yet. Now a chief executive officer says Wababe can say, Ube Lucy license. How are you going to work on it? Say for the bay enforce, you're making sure say woman talk.
So so once you were a Jumako and I say a community war. The research department, any sound so the special services department, and I was say, you fancy. So, Otoku, Kuyeni, Nikuku, Nasa Unchiaya, agitations where they Ebeba. Because one say, what to tell you, yes, Kuku bossy with Chia Ska. Make one put a bone, my dear. Yes, you Cheska, you release a year 2.5 billion, you release 10 billion, you release say, but you still hear agitations coming from the farmers say a day in Cheska because in the operations of a Kuku board, no, first now near syndication, no, what the a fraction of syndicated facility na wenyano. Now I advance say a LBCs, no, someone then you supplement with Usi canal ye day. It took Cocoa now the bar. Any reconciliation in terms of outstanding obligations that Cocoa board owe to you be no, I will start from the now I then. Now I so there is always a year a dream policy at the moment Odi Cocoa in the bed day. Ebebano. The moment I did Cocoa in the bebano. Why a day? Which year a year in the day? Kenino Eka. If the chief executive came in and say, if you don't have the money, don't. We won't do license. We won't do license.
What is a what license? A renewable one.
A renewable.
How many years?
Oh, every year you have to renew. Now I think every year you have to.
Okay.
So if you don't have Sikanwa, Cocoa then new because you put the situation whereby Addo also a high and say no just under 1 minute, just under 1 minute square. One will say a boy no buy na yet say so no. Ewa man saying just so. Na ye di kan ya shebo at the beginning of the season. Na ye tia e bo bidiama e ye kueni no. But e ko ba se bo ni si ni tiase. Na aban hwe into it na waye ntotoye no.
Na the first one do metua na sa.
Na make na wo akwakoye wakɔhye wo akwakoye den akofiri kuku. Bentuo wakofiri kuku. So that a camo. All the break kuku boss on ye dey. Abra you didn't bet anything. It's about be kuku bod ni kueni na desoa. Na wo waye den. Watwe ho afim. So ahuno.
Any enforcement na honum mum na ese mo shepa.
Metimi so akasa basis no so kwan bi so no. Omo so aboa ye nyi omu boni aye de.
Ene na ye.
And the chief executive class. It's a chief executive class. Why relax for this season because of situation na near there. Now you will move but going forward no.
Oh yes sir.
No, enya there.
Yo, Abraham das. The pa ni se nipa obuapa. Ye boni. Namely bia a person of fine scapegoat, and that is typical of NDC. Nyamu ye eni hwe hin. Rollins beto kuku. Mills beto kuku. What you say? Mu yi chief executive. Eniema akoso a ebon ensese ye kan mo de adi akuafo no. Ebi nsi. Nia edi kan person what you say pa eni say. Or say there is a guideline. Nko famra me nhwe. Or true phone was me dance ni wa bruchiri. There is no guideline to that effect. Se wo beto koko no a na se we anya sika ntua say e bi a kina wote the bar I stand to be corrected, but one thing is certain. What you say, even Mahama no ankasa the first and half second term
President
Mahama that who would na yebo President Akuffo how many times inti with all respect was do baby onya inti dia make dia siso misro and he say onu ankasa ba ye no o ti se kuafo koko yate soda number 1 dia toso mienu o te se eye wo mo to koko no ye be hunu na wo mo
ebisa NC the tie say one money na ye adwuma and amoboa wo they buy on commission because of say one timi anhunu and monitor what price of cocoa amadi ewuo no you want to use them as a scapegoat and it's typical of them so 24-hour economy mo ya hu dede mo ntimi yenti no and the hospitals kwa na mu bu no they want to find a scapegoat and that is typical of them mo bie mo ano ka say drainage system mo manifesto wo mo be bia your door na de mo ntimi no ma me his excellency John Dramani ma me di Ghana for atem say ye ni ahuni enti eyemusu ene mo ban akuafo no ebre na obahima de twam kura ne say yanso ye koko akuafo ni bia na mema kobo koko a Kodwoo aye no ma hunu say ebi a returns no emwa enti bia mi ntwa na menye bode mo de mrade abeto na ye busase ne no eye cool state ede wo mu ana ye wa private sector say see a wote yi se nyame ayo adom no anya ba bia eye better than UTV of course minim se ba bi bet my better for now yes o pe ha na wo fi ana wo kwa no se kwa me ene Father Dixon akoye eyi se ultimate free ha dia omu ye no eye wudi semo a me nua yitra sense ma meka no enka wo mo enka ye nka nwachi ase agro ye de na odwamfunu susu won suro sekan na mum se yade a wo ben fom en wo tie de akuafo no kan de mo de ye wo mo a me nua ka ba dwene ho mo manifesto mo bie mo ano kan say mo ba adansie ebe yefo ewi ase ene wo mo adan landlords and landladies kasa no you are blaming them and it's typical of PNDC NDC musuman no wa mo creative wira no a no ma fa scapegoat me di wie no IMF na de o mo so mo nko no after 17 MPP ko 2 mo ko 10 it recklessness no if mo 10 na mo ko ye ko just 2 me bie ye no na pese me kan say Bible see the head so gira o hwe ye no an hia say and now you empathy edun ketia ne having the drusumo and yema o me de ko and now you are president mama Jubilee House okra niam a ekoso no ebi a wanya privy to me denyame asese ye koto aba onyame adom yen we have the best candidate obia in Ghana obia no beto ba omia ye de ba momfa mo de emra na me ka kire Ghana for sa branch ni ndi ni jero so omo hyase no omo timi di achi ekona sundwe moye na mo so omo ko na se crack mi ba mu a ene na anu ba bia akra mawie anu ba bia akra every o mayimu the worst record set sitting chairman it catch them piece na me mpra no on ferrade we say you come out here and you try to justify it by their fruits you shall know them
me that say no Mr. Obrel me so that my time na
so me that say say o here cocoa board decision you know say assess no based on all more objectives no or then you know more yes almost say as I say my buying companies one of the things and I feel so no
na farmers so come jo
indebtedness a car or more the farmers no so say this I know my we pekra na ye hwa asempa nti obi ensu no chief for asempa kodo nti I think say the ebe more critical na the implementation aspect no because e bia obe kan is in the books but on the field na there na still na no more to e wa ba mu ntua ka
to enforce it
another angle so na say me so na me na kwasi chief farm nya me fa na currency no Jerome, no cocoa bebre wo inchi Fakabra area ho.
Oh, Fakabra ye a
contomra side. Nti me makoko kwa aboyeda. Ba na misa.
Ufinzara na ko Fakabra.
Na ne minim ni say ebia one aspect ebia se mo hwe no. On se cocoa ni farmer no wa bono cocoa wa ye wa hata. Wa pack egu me say ba bia storage issue. On say one aspect necessary
was shed
exactly sa inti no yes say me ni ko hu because o say ne all on credit no more on credit be mu that means that na ye de mra na ye dwuma finchim dia it means say me kokko ni ready me keep you me mabobo ano ho na se ma nya ba bia keep na because me de commerce me say no to no oniska de channel on credit wa bumra so enti sa link na say ho no so na make sure say cocoa farmers omo enhyeso mu cocoa fancy omo say be omo dan ma na ina ebikwa na omo ntimi am package ne we na enso to a enso akobo because ono na otokoko ne de o baby a ahye da ye ne kama o store the warehouse ne ade nti sa anga no nso no say bomodin na ye de ye hwe na friends nu kan so obi etwa fufufa chiwa bra ye hu nti say ye nye no across yen kwa say we mu de o betima aton credit because be o me party ma we mu de o de be won kwa wan support me na ebia obehe na the local level no obi abefa ho a che ne crash powers no no e ade say yakutia
okay no when you breaking the monopoly of PVC sure when you breaking the monopoly of PVC other license buying companies
monopolizing Sakoko and then this MPP buy free one and then the documents are moved here previously say they are trying to drive them and bring their people and also more fast.
Yes. No allegation.
Allegation. Na dia nya me side me ni. Eh ya dia mo nim se mo ko mo na mo ko mo. Ba dia cash mo just ye mra ye sha say free police station call electoral area e ba constituency e be pem region no nya me adom. Na do yinti MPP inside eguso. Enra abato me me da no ewie peye mane ye kama. Me ankasa de na was central region. But there were other regions so na me ntimi continue me try endorsement here na me de corner radio na frame me montoma wi nyame adom ni nyina ye adwuma amanjasam na ye ni sei no oba hima wo betumi abaye president so relationship with the grassroots any ho no mo a kane no a Kwame Nkrumah ni buzi amota ma oba anabo na eba ni edi na chi da bi o so we Jerome enya position we eye platform eye stepping stone a or the building ho. How do you relate to the people? Kakra obenya se na ni nipa che. Na ja obedi position na wie na to obi asawram. Ne kodura batos na montoma we a omhwa na yeserew. It's happening in MPP and it's happening in NDC.
It doesn't mean so. Doesn't mean say obi o ne wedi ni ye a wa ba wa ye fine bia no na wo no o command.
Sir, who study political communication will be a friend say party attachment or affiliation. Party attachment or affiliation. Amanyosem enye wosoroko ni akasi aketua o heaven relationship me better na make us Randy Abi or you be am ni free yenko program Randy hu me a obetra se da obra o ma ho mechi ame though he's the other side but we are friends internal politics na ye no is transcending ideological to relationship they make us what you say me kutabi na me endorse wa ho na nkebeti but because over the years is it Ashanti region? Is it greater? Is it western north? Is it Ahafo? Is it Bono? Is it Bono east? And I infa and womo enime. Intina me kadi atwaso say. Say we obi a wo contest here, wo candidate e na wo kono. Obi obendo so bia no assess the viability of the person. Is he going to be an asset or is going to be a liability? Obi timi do achi na oni akra no yinti. They just the ended the election. MPP eba omiamu di. Penifo bi kodi baby a one pronouncement kra no ema omulusu yi nti dia me sre ni say onyame aye but dia me den say enra Dr. Joseph Esibu na interestingly me did Dr. Joseph Esibu anim and I do any contest eye Percy the immediate past acting regional chairman I was central region where my schoolmate I was Legon yeah Tescon then I was the Tescon president but na yedin but me team said no with the two evils no Sibu is of a lesser evil inti ye campaign man ye kama obia compato ne ho na enura me hunade na eye me fe be ho no mo na Dr. Sibu menua Percy frɛ no ochia no se menua waya de de Sibu ka che na ne se menua se men kwantira me ba de a ene ye hwehwɛ ni mu se be na emom wo nti enso ka ho ye nyina ye mfa unity emfa nya dwuma na the youth organizer o nyaaye no enipa on the contest in the constituency a o defeat no say nipa no na e kan ne ho ma ne be win region say nipa no enkwada wo
sir
yes men wa contest e o constituency na we win constituency no we two anamon say wo kro no wo say e mami ni wachi no nko and you won you are finidi kaka
so Lucy constituency and oko win region
so it tells you say politics na ye no him say nipa bebre wuom but what it takes to do politics no obahima eniema in the academia also ye twema man for theater yenye huni a relationship eti de nyame ase ye ogigi wa rehemu se senia Paul enam Philip fo ngoman ka so nyame shat di ase a owie no onyame de be wie nkunimdiem ne yakoni nyina de na Ghana fo hwa ne se yesremo ye hia nkabomu yesremo ye hia nkabomu ne yesim opania ana konfo opeso na otra no eno ochiro na chiwade iti so achire achiwade ni akwabade ne Ghana fo ya ye ready set bia ye wo mu seisei no da bida enya nyomto nti eba na mamefa we ntwem yanama ye bonto ani nyina no almost every place that I visited adia ba ko na ekoso ni say asofo bi ye di nyame hwamo nti asofo ni hwe ye say when the foundation is broken or kind of psalms humanum oh say fapem no shekia look at the lives of Pentecost pastors you love them assemblies Baptist SDA Methodist and those churches and then asofo akofa politics in shem come etimi kansen hunu onyankopon yensi na twetwe
sebi
debi assembly nenti wo free say Paul ekokan say 2 Timothy say Alexander was Alexander ko bridumfo no che osmafo Paul oyobia bitie no was Alexander ko bridumfo onyame ntwia ne kase de university or to say
basenyo Alexander sem na ye
debi Paul ne kan yo mesusu no
say wo say wonye Paul oyo fire
na me masua Paul 27 books ye wo ayi ni nyina no ono tire 13 masua ni nyina
bi de ye Paul yemfa bi nye wana
enti na de say de omo de ye kura de chen o say
ye de ye Paul
enti 90 say Paul enya bo
enti de be show you so de sebi
enti de yo mate wada roma wa ho fenti sebi na se nyame asofo ko gina wo abeto abama we say ni ade aye cheap aye time na sofo be gina wo ye mompa emfa ma gold board ene ye mompa ye emfa ma galamsey obra obi onu eton momone otimi ton nya mfaso na ti gold board ye boka 1.2 billion na ni etimi nyanyame asofo be gina wo se mompa ye se galamsey sima mo kan ye and according to advancement set me bien na no kase ene what are you for no kra omo pe the stability level no kra na abanu pese omo di pie bi unu so be bia unu akodura obahima eno ho mpaebo na sa sofo ni nya wo mo ma ye mfa yi
mpaebo ni
o say
onje mpaebo ni
enye mpaebo a bewu anyane
nti ya den obi ga
dabi obahima besre ma ye nyenya atwom ya to gold boka ya kan obi aton momone ya nkwa goglusi obi aton supaku obi aton deni wanya mfaso obrani nkotna gold 1.2 billion near Empire. Does it make sense? It defies the strength in power.
And then I think say what can I say in business there can be products being jebi say obi aton we aboka that's we aton we nyamfaso sounds so na the what we nyamfaso that same person abit me aton bibi nso aboka
and na make catch we say me say yen hwe ne mane mienu wasam no mu ode na emomu ne sipai se obi ton mama ne kontomire o se metete ye no kapranka manya na go board de onu gina wiem kura nyamfaso na wo e conceal so da bodi wachi waton go da boka ni etime nyame asofo se ye mompaye obaima ba bia nyame ahode bam tie ni de nyame ahode bam e woni pam nyame create yen se ni image so the wisdom is given us nyame unu so ahode apema no bam ba nyame ma bibia na out of recklessness o ye ni sa empire ni bi won ma ye nyame tipai. I believe in prayers. Without prayers, you move in Kientiasi.
May that say, Jerome, Brim.
Abena. Ahumia na abeje. Na dembio na because MPP internal elections na say good board na PP mo na ya chiro intasi ya kan amayoku MPP. Na onim painful so time Kodwoo na we America. Na there is no man born of a woman or Ghana, even beyond Ghana, obetimi doubted the competence of a lawyer Sami Jemfi. The kind of administration or offer to a good board. In fact, this is a very young man in the history of the Republic. Less than 3 months or so, what you mean establish an agency which never existed.
Nana because we speak to.
No, I will speak. No, meba. No, oh, Debbie. Oh, Enyanisa. Kofi Kinata to name June. There was a first nana na ponkwa bodama since yanzu de ni ranu so abodam. Ono kan. So where me Adomako fee, we need to respond to. But you fee in less than 3 months. Organization that never existed. A young man, a very young man, Etimia Manaede aba into existence. Beyond that, yes, Gold Board never existed. Gold Board never existed anyway.
But
we didn't have any
PMMC. And ya changed the Gold.
Abena, right? Abena, let me tell you.
PMMC then the Gold Board. I know they are metia.
What Emrabe na establish PMMC? Emrabe na establish Gold Board. You are talking about a new Emra establishing a new organization which never existed. So there is nothing like PMMC here. Yayede, Yediaba.
Into your book PMMC.
PMC egu.
And
egu it's like a CMB, Cocoa Marketing Company. You had Adomako Baafi, history Rebecca Cho. Yet in 1947, it is not the same as Cocoa Board we had in 1984. It is not the same. It is not the same. So a young man, I aside with beyond that. This is a company, an agency or better, yeah. A year to sustain the whole republic, the whole country's economy. The whole country's economy is not spearheaded by a very young man, But ye jai eno enka. And in fact, so ope the authority reporting on Gold Board issues I'm not sure say it is IMF. Because if IMF will even have any document to speak on a Gold Board or the custodian of all the documents Gold Board. Apart from the over 10 billion a buyer to support the economy, Gold Board they make a profit and a surplus of over 5 billion. We are not talking about that one. And adia a year obi akawo ni baby. And in fact, this is one same person. Mosio Orana Boka Omeyano. Wa veli ne ho. Also mo de nyame anim kra na mo be frɛ me a ma ye ready. And it's about the issue.
You don't believe in the report of IMF.
I believe in what lawyer Sami Jenfi has said. Me say now between IMF or no external person.
It's not about lawyer Sami Jenfi.
I don't believe in that. I believe in what the chief executive of a Gold Board, Aka, supporting with evidence. That is what I believe in. So if say a Gold Board a superior argument to advancer or monthly documentations which says say but aside that how do you want me to come and sit here and believe in their external partner be and as external source as against the custodian of all the documents available into yamo ora na baso ene enyo no a nka megidi pass nke bia the Ghana for democracy awowa e dey run on my based on the ababeto. Now to the MPP for elections, you think as well there for the attitude there. Now so to advance in democracy na ye no. Na ehu hia say ye den ye can be. Now me hwe MPP ankasa no a me nim se dia oye won no hye Wellington Buto. Say o hye ekumekume so o hye den yo I don't really know. Because internal party elections, and there has never been a time many fear may NDC politics. All the contests are marked from branch, constituency to regional level. Me who a time President Mahama being an interested party, so a person flag bearer not or the list day edenam. Say me list day any. Of course, we write Mr. Bones Mametiase or won't to me station back. Said there are people who are only people say a flag bearer no Dr. Mahou Baumia beat me no my day. He said it. He is on tape. Specifically, Ayo Urebi Wini regional chairman war Western North Ura Pius Abeka. just because we criticize Dr. Bawumia because not Owura Kennedy. I'm not sure Owura Kennedy will NDC membership card, so he's a bona fide of MPP. So there are people, I born leading people. Yankase Koka, Dr. Bawumia choice. They said it.
When they say autism.
And autism, let's Mr. Penino, shadow chief of staff. It's not really those kind. Or say, Koka no, yes, or Yadoye. And Yadoye near the co-elections. It's even defeats a year as someone who Adomako Baafi day. Aka. Or say Yadoye say, we young Kodwoo now elections now this is a serious business. So that means that guy is a joke. It means that guy is a joke. I grow when you so. And if you get the pedigree of Eye Chemi Sabunsu, who has the ears of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, then after they are calling for unity. Unity ni fiva.
Okay.
Unity ni fiva. And here there. Adia yem penny say MPP no as a party in where they ebegu. We need a yem penny sir. Because they go Adomako Baafi baby we do if no buy nisi or beche.
Adabasa monjino.
So oh yeah beche no but beche so beche.
Beche say.
So no
beche kill no
dom.
Yeah oh dom dey ye pay. So but e bi na o kan say ko jam ya video o san mi hu. So what say?
So one of the never san.
There be intino yeah general.
I want to be
oh that intino Adomako Baafi abanan tinti wa be san mi hu.
Yo mate.
So what say? So what say? Me question na dwene nim die ne da bi but ye ka obi a wasom that party a masom mini party chain no enjo mo chineti no mesami ho so ho no iti party ni ye den enwo ho but me ameka ne says oh ye kandini na wo pom ampanyine dia o mfa wo list enkokoko rounds na wo ka abato mutu nyina abumu a o kekesi ani a ne list na nkoye o
okay
na wo list ankoye na wo pom ampanyine aye den
and they say we I don't fan so recommend so now
no Minia, your father, your father Dixon can't say more. Or can't say more. Or can't say more.
Or rest of the message we can't say that's about Maumianaka and no neka.
Yes, if you are going to heaven and you meet Jesus, no sign. And I'm a boy. And yes, I now sign. And yes, I now sign. That's one too. Also, Ghana for you ready. So, Omumra, Ghana for ye, or my ready. And I knew you. And I knew ye. A year a homaso, opulence, and corruption. A catuchidi, a mobile boy, and one who can Ghana for him. And near me, Chrome say if you forget them, yes, you say a few.
Okay, Mate.
Central region of your buy, me at Makufu by, or move you.
Jerome, yes,
Abraham, that's it. With the Addo, my mentor, my give Chamachin in the match. The mess not here free this angle. Say a Koba democratic dispensation. I whom ya now you perceive measure Ghana in governance, in political way now. The two parties, no. The moment we deal or because internally, no. A was so be brave, a general outlook on so about democracy. And almost elections almost year from polling station, electoral areas near the number in Nano. Ya Kabuma, a same near the Ekuye pa. If we say no man to 2 years, eventually, me leaders are Maya, Ebia, or Mono wouldn't be the best for the national economy and as a managing the economy. And you say you're interested in NPP, NDC, CPP, PNC, and Onaka or more affairs. In fact, and your money and your massam. Sometimes they are now. Well, maybe more positions in the office or yen, Debbie, and your money in Assam. If we say at the end of the day, no pay the constitutional, structure and asset. And no my rapping and Queen de good acquirement. Parties here, Munkofona eventually be executive near ye a year legislature day every. enti se koba se neoma ekoso within their parties no enye ne beboa na ebema democracy sinitase anase ne koma bua eno de ni kwanse de yefoa so enti se party bitimi eye elections na neoma in all no ye de esinsane so ne hu so o ma bomoden anase o matimi aye peaceful, generally peaceful elections. Na enko se koka watimi wakame ne ade ne etututo basa ne ade ene bia emfa na se voter na se ne omuka no eye register omo no use no obi amfa ankwhye se bitokrom ba bi an replace bi mu ne ade na bibia no kofan a ade a ese nyina no ye boy ensem nti sa na ye hwehwe free eye the parties ni nyina ho na yemra eye nea omoye ne nanu yi no onse emso madin kan ye said na ofa Baafi kan o madin kan ye the lower levels na movia constituency and na Kodwoo regional
so me adma October 3 no madin national no
na onse ya na obia won formula obo at that level ebu okwa na onse o matimi create some connection be among the various phases and levels anti obon say bia Jerome Kwana bia opeso be bia MP and as a parliamentary candidate or no be build some bonding be with the lower people and grassroots na or no more connected
because obe here wo
exactly until obon so be make sure say anyi bia nkofu bia ono no gitum say na ofi say omo no betimi aboa no obo betimi awini from the lower level na ba no more no because ontimi nko ba bia at the same time ha na bi won so kwa na okọ ba bia kwa Canada da o ma waje o mu akire no o mu ne ho be ka che nkofo e wo ho no itimi to ma so ma wo de kwa bi kwa na e be bagu ha nti ya na strategically no obi a o ye campaign na bia me so of a Baafi so nam central region na de me gidi say na or try say or be connect some people
with others in other regions
nti sa ne mani nyina no ya de a politically no so we because one here and then my for you be almost watch go into one say but to banana ma wo say watch here dey honorable say ya to fear delegates why you go wa busa for you no makwa wan no man to it's all because of the way be information be among for carry around there it can actually move people away from you when it comes to the voting day no ebi omo they are my fans na they are but within them they know that they are not voting for you. Okay, so that's one aspect. Bible kwa ka say nipa me no ntime nya de emane nyi wa bra omo enko benko
agreement
nti the former vice president call for it is in order but na say ehwe no so say abato no mu no enantin twitwa ne konsum bi ene sunsum bi ne ade eba mu ana no na say omo trans na omo he because ntimi for anu anka say yeah we should ensure that there's unity. So you have to work towards that unity. What kind of they are omo no what side ne they oh yes they are looking for unity because omo person will be a winning at the national level no but the point is that untimi nka say onye ho hwe na bia yenkamum enkofo bebre even a constituency level na polling station level kwa no fractions etimi abe baso ne ade said the American omo album omo use to vote ne ade ebi ho a obon say we say bia medin we we de we abehye me no da nti amanfo bia manasepo bi ho a megidi say party no at all the various levels ni nyina no omo de hihye bi begu akwam nya omo find out any possible this unity element bi a betimi ade aba based on a course from the lower level up to a regional level na afin so no post a victory comment sometimes ya na no so no account pa you know because kasenchi enti omo ma wini nyina no say omo no the supposed supporters of Baumia and supposed against of Baumia say against against supporters Basa ne Real Madrid and Roma enti the person says so almost say whether you are in support of Baumia and I say because I tigers or Baumia camp we Kent camp and as whatever be the case. You see no person money NDC for is almost a wabem and omu money I did now to me a favor as we speak. Ye ebia incumbent ebia influence ebia o scout how they say but the policies near the so ye niye ne to amanfo trimu na omu say amanfo hu so omo alive no and such a bi ne ade abamu a woni no e be starting make no but ono no is already ahead of you it is a wo no a wo pa o person wo ba betuni fa konwa so no went me anye sa enkabom no ade na obia no amfa na ho den ni nyansa ni sika ni ade wo bia na amboa we ba say you are joking
okay
and say ho no de na o kan no is in the right direction but they should walk the talk one can so ye person unity ni ade na say bia and we akugina no aka we akugina no ato ya ma we e wa bra ya nya ho hwe enipa di ya na wanya opportunity to voice it out sometimes a shinitim na or acting so you may not know
okay
na obi twi me ka say kuse ne kuse de shinitim
yo matemeda say yet was Jeremy me shall say everywhere enough of the IMF bailout forcing rule out 18th IMF deal for Ghana into a finance minister dia tuja na all canon workers say somewhere